Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Watch.
With Canelo versus Crawford coming up soon, the heat is not going away anytime soon. Just like at the last news conference, Canelo and Crawford were caught using racial slurs. The whole thing started when Canelo was asked about the fight they had at the previous press conference.
I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it. I think he don't did them because he really wanted to do. I think Turki Al-Ashi told him, you need to do something. And he did. He did. And now...
After the news conference, Crawford said again that he was laughing at Canelo's crazy behavior and that he likes all the drama.
I laughed at it, as you can see. You know, I love things like that. You know, it excites me. I'm more motivated than ever now.
The last news conference, Terence Crawford talked about how Canelo Alvarez shoved him during the fight. In addition, he said that the push had not scared him in any way and had nothing to do with the fight plan he was using.
Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that little push didn't do nothing, as you can see. But come fight time, we're not going to be pushing, we're going to be punching. So it doesn't even matter.
In addition to the last news conference, there was a face-off with the death stare during this one. New boxing organizer Dana White, who was actually signed with the UFC, had to stop them. It's not just a war. Two men will fight in the same ring in this once-in-a-lifetime event. They have beaten opponents in every weight class, won as many titles as they had prizes, and shut down critics everywhere. After thinking about his fight with Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez talked about how this experience motivates him. He thought about how Saunders had behaved and acted before the fight, which made him so angry that he went into the ring to fight more violently and angrily. By saying that, he gave the impression that he would go through something similar in his fight with Crawford.
For Bud Crawford, you know, a lot of MMA fans, UFC fans, may not have ever seen you fight before, and they might tune in because staying in the UFC are involved. So what has it been like maybe introducing yourself to a lot of MMA fans?
There were things Crawford said that Canelo Alvarez didn't like, especially when Crawford said that he didn't think it was important to live up to other people's standards. Canelo says that Crawford almost seemed to have something to prove or someone to talk about at the press meeting.
A little bit more personal because, you know, I did respect him. I don't respect him anymore because he say, I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that. And then he tried to, maybe Turki Al-Ashi told him, hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in Riyadh. So and he tried to like he walked me back, and that's why I pushed him. And you know, like I say, don't fuck with me.
Does it bring a different Canelo then?
Yeah, it's different.
During the news conference, Canelo made a similar claim. He told the media and boxing staff that the nose during the last fight may have been caused by Turki telling Crawford to walk him down. He told Crawford that if he messed with him, his career would end.
Before I respect his word because he say, oh, I'm not gonna let somebody to tell me what I need to do. And he did, so, but you know me. Just, I respect everybody, but if you f me, so it's gonna be different. You know.
Listen.
Hey, we know, buddy. We know.
First
we know.
and foremost.
We know.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford got into a heated argument. During the argument, Crawford said he was scared because of stories going around in the Canelo camp. He said that he turned up in front of Canelo to show him that he wasn't afraid to give us a hint that he was making the plans for the fight. Canelo later said that he never did this himself, stating what Crawford's uncle said.
Somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss of this fight. I ain't scared of shit.
Hey, I never say that. Your uncle say that, not me.
Even though he keeps saying it, Crawford says he doesn't fear anyone. At their last news conference, he told everyone that he wasn't afraid to go up to Canelo, who is a naturally big fighter. Canelo will find that out when they fight.
Scared of shit. And you're gonna find that out. And as you've seen, the last press conference,
We'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well.
On the one hand is Canelo Alvarez, a Mexican hero and the present undisputed super middleweight champion. 39 knockouts, 63 wins, and 2 losses, he has fought some of the best boxers. There is Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant, Sergey Kovalev, Miguel Cotto, and more. Even though both the fighters and the fans were talking about how big the fight was, Hearn expertly kept the Crawford height in check. He was a little nervous at first, but now he knows that today is a big day for Canelo.
See the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo. Then I sort of leant towards Fast, but now I'm back with Canelo. So we'll see.
Canelo's an all-time great. He's an incredible fighter, and look, I actually think this is a bad fight for him because
Eddie Hearn says that he leans more toward Canelo. Then, Hearn set up a setup where neither side finds the battle easy at all. He knew that Crawford's unique style, along with his quick reactions, smooth moves, and frequent adjustments, could make the ring look like a checkerboard and force Canelo to catch up.
he'll engage a lot more than Skull, but he will be looking to do all the things where people have had success, which is use movement. Look at what Bivol did. Bivol had the perfect game plan. He boxed off the back foot, then he attacked, then he moved, then he, all that kind of stuff. And I think Crawford will be looking to do exactly the same.
Hearn also said that Crawford sees this fight as more than just a way to make a lot of money or win a new title. That's the main goal for him. He says Crawford sees it as his chance to become more than just a technical genius and become great. The one that goes down in the history books of the sport. According to Hearn, Crawford doesn't want power. His goal is to leave a memory.
It's a fight that's probably quite personal to him to prove himself as a great. And there is no doubt that if he wins this fight, he's a great. He's a pound for pound tremendous fighter, but
as the elephant in the room, the size difference had to be dealt with as well. The fact that Crawford was 147 pounds made him a welterweight, keeping an eye on the 168-pound king for a long time. Still, it was easy to see the change in weight. Crawford kept calling out Canelo's name. It was interesting that Canelo left the door open. He didn't close the door, but left it open so that he would be serious if the business did work out.
47, obviously 154 now. But the money's the money, and he was never going to turn it down.
In his career, Canelo went from being a young prospect to one of the biggest sports stars to fight pay-per-view stars of today. He fought and beat the champions for different weights. Canelo has his own kingdom both inside and outside of the ring. He fights with steel chins, body shots that wear down opponents, and accurate, heavy counter punches. At the news conference, he looked calmer and more at ease than Bud. He talked about how he felt about working with Dana White and the event managers to get ready for the big event. Canelo saw that White and UFC players worked together and didn't see the UFC and boxing as competitors. You give the impression that we're competing, but I'm not, he stated. I like Dana White all the time. Each and every UFC fighter, someone I admire and respect. I believe that if we all work together, we can achieve great things. Okay, so I'm excited to work with Dana White and everyone else involved in this big fight, like Netflix and everyone else. I'm glad to choose this guy. He knows I've always liked him. This time, Crawford is different for everyone. Antonio Tarver was sure of Terence Crawford's mind and said it was like the fearless, commanding presence that great boxers have.
I've been telling y'all for the longest. That boy got that energy. And you know what energy I'm talking about. What is that? Tarver energy.
Yes, sir. Tarver.
He got that. And so you know, when you get that, we don't see nobody, bro.
And Tarver turned his attention to Canelo Alvarez and gave a harsher opinion. He agreed that Canelo was tough, but he said that the Mexican star hadn't faced a real test in a while and that his movement in the ring hadn't been as sharp lately. Tarver said that being comfortable can be bad. Even the best defenders may slow down because of it. He's now in the ring with a tough Canelo. Now, Canelo's footwork hasn't been up to par lately, and he hasn't been a real threat in a long time. We get so used to being in that zone sometimes, but you need to dig deep to get ready for Crawford. Do you feel me? We all know that Crawford is a skilled boxer with a record of 410-0 and 30 knockouts. His game is a switch-hitting puzzle that no opponent has yet figured out. He hasn't faced anyone now since he moved up to 140 pounds. He ruled the 147-pound division by shocking the boxing world by beating Errol Spence Jr., and he just won a world title at 154 pounds. To face the most dangerous man at 168, he is now moving up one class, which is a brave move. That kind of desire doesn't happen very often. I haven't seen many people who could pull it off. Frank Martin talked about how he thought William Skull and Terence Crawford would fight Canelo Alvarez in different ways. Skull changed his style to be more sneaky after Canelo's last fight, which Martin thought was going too far on defense. Martin, on the other hand, doesn't think Crawford will take that method. I don't think Terence will run away from Canelo as much as that guy did. I think he will, box, but he will also take some shots. I think he will fight Canelo in spurts. Martin thinks that Crawford may not be as strong as Canelo because of his size, but Crawford will always have stronger advantages, like speed, to fight with Canelo. Martin also went on to say that it is very likely that Crawford will beat Canelo because he is faster when he is smaller.
Quicker than him and
fast. Sometimes, man, like, just because a guy bigger, it don't always mean, like, he can crack, but, it's like Terence he gonna be the faster, he gonna be the quicker fighter, the more explosive fighter, too, I feel like.
By talking about the problems that smaller opponents have when they fight bigger ones, he did a great job of combining logical points about how smaller, faster fighters have an advantage over taller, heavier opponents. His reasoning makes sense, which is why quickness should be valued whether the two are physically equal or very competitive. Men who are bigger don't mean anything. Those guys are often slower. When a smaller guy fights a bigger guy, you just can't get hit by the bigger guy, especially if you're a puncher. However, I think that smaller guys often had an edge because they were faster. In the case of Crawford, the fight can change what it means to be great. If he beats Canelo, who is physically bigger than him but has shown he can fight in all styles, he will be the first man in the history of the four-belt era to hold an undisputed belt in 3 weight classes. It's never been done before. It's not Mayweather or Pacquiao. It's not Roy Jones Jr. This is history written in big, bold letters. Some of Canelo Alvarez's past opponents are now standing together against him. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a well-known voice who is still active today. He was the boxer who beat Canelo in one of his worst losses. In 2013, when Canelo was younger, Mayweather not only beat him, but also destroyed him in a truly magnificent way.
You could take a guy like Canelo, this guy could do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Even though the difference in weight could affect the fight, neither team has a clear physical edge over the other. This is why they are both so sure of themselves. Brian "Bo" McIntyre, the fighter's trainer, met his energy not with fire but with a calm certainty that said a lot. It was made clear that he already knew what would happen, even though the details of their plan would be kept secret. Bo didn't want to put on a show for the cameras or add to the excitement. Instead, he was focused on the work that goes on behind the scenes, the discipline, the trust that has been built over years of hard work, and the planning that he thinks will help them win. "We're just going to get out there and win," he stated. "Do everything you can to help us win. I'm not going to tell you the game plan or anything like that. But what everyone really means is that I'm sure we'll win." As it turns out, Crawford has a higher knockout rate, 73% versus 63.9% for Canelo, which is amazing since Crawford fought in a lighter class for most of his career. Oscar de la Hoya, on the other hand, has been seen attacking the fight, the groups that put on the fight, and the dinner that Canelo, Crawford, and Turki Al-Sheikh went to. Oscar de la Hoya was angry when he talked about the fight. He then said that he didn't like how friendly the boxers are being with each other, saying that it has taken the edge out of boxing. De la Hoya said that fans don't watch to see people admire each other. It's the fire, stress, and raw energy that draws them to fights that make them feel like war is about to break out. He said that the atmosphere before today's fights is like the atmosphere before legendary fights in the past. He said that rivals as intense as Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier or Mike Tyson versus Mitch Green would never have worked if those fighters had been seen meeting together before the fight.
Can you imagine Muhammad Ali or like Joe Frazier having dinner together? What? Can you imagine Mike Tyson and Mitch Green before a brawl?
Hey,
What the f? No boxing fan wants to see two fighters having dinner together.
We could have a dinner on Wednesday night.
Then he said it again. The real fun of boxing is in the build-up. Because of the stress and the mental stakes, each round feels like life or death. The advertising story loses spark when it seems forced or too well put together. We want fights. We want you to be excited. We want to believe that a real war is about to start. That champagne and caviar together while they're putting on their trilogy. Jesus the Christ. Oscar said something personal when he told Bud to bring up the story about Canelo failing a drug test because of tainted meat. This scandal has been Canelo's worst nightmare for years. Doesn't anyone else like this idea? This doesn't have time for anyone. You can really get Canelo mad if you tell the truth about him and his spoiled foods. However, it's not just about facts and figures. This is our legacy. Crawford is a two-time undisputed champion going into this fight. He doesn't have anything left to show, but he still wants to feel the challenge that can only come from being raised to become a god. The Canelo has been in charge for so long that the only way he can stay in power is to kill the person who is going to remove him. The British boxer reporter Gareth A. Davies added his voice and gave Crawford a harsh reminder of what's to come. Davies didn't try to hide how bad this fight could get.
Fight for both men. Canelo always looks for the knockout, as he says. He will be planting his feet. And as I said to Terence, are you prepared to be hit harder than you've ever been hit before? Obviously, he doesn't want to be hit, but Canelo will hit him harder than anyone he's probably been in against. So Spence hits hard, but it wasn't the same Errol Spence that he fought. And he's up against one of the all-time greats of Mexican boxing on September the 13th at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's a really big fight for him. It's a legacy fight because his resume isn't anything like Saul Canelo Alvarez's legacy.
Davies makes it clear. No, Canelo is not going to box cute. He's going to hurt you. He starts the fight on his heels, plants himself, and goes for the knockout like he's on a mission. Also, Crawford has never taken shots like the ones Canelo is about to throw. That's the test, not just of skill, but also of toughness, heart, and pure will. This isn't just a game of chess. Every clean hit in the war could change everything. The question Davies asks is also very scary. Is Crawford really ready for that much fire? He faced a different Errol Spence, but Errol Spence hits hard. He will be fighting one of the best Mexican boxers all time on September 13 at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. He's up against a tough opponent. His record isn't even close to Saul Canelo Alvarez's, so it's a heritage fight. Even before the fight starts, it's clear that this isn't going to be a normal fighting match. It's a mix of history, pride, and strong feelings. The fire keeps getting bigger with each news conference, quote, and stare down. One thing is certain. There will be tension, whether it's calm strategy or full-on strain. All eyes will be on Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford when they finally fight. History will be on one side or the other. If this discussion made you feel hot, please click the like button, subscribe for more great fight talk, and share your guess in the comments. Is Crawford really bothering Canelo, or will the Mexican great put an end to all doubts? Tell us below, and don't leave. The fight is only getting worse.